Good morning, good afternoon, students. Today we are going to learn about human immunodeficiency virus, which is an etiological agent of acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, the biggest threat to mankind in the last 3 decades. So, aims and objective of the particular theory class, you must start to understand morphology, structure, characteristics of HIV, life cycle, clinical manifestation, pathogenesis of HIV, opportunistic infection caused in HIV, laboratory diagnosis, and its treatment. That is, a highly active antiretroviral treatment. So, retroviruses possess unique enzyme called reverse transcriptase or RNA-directed DNA polymerase that directs the synthesis of DNA from viral RNA after they infect the host cell. This family, Retroviridae family, includes three subfamilies: Oncovirinae, Lentivirinae, and Sulfavirinae. Lentivirinae possesses this human immunodeficiency virus 1 and human immunodeficiency virus type 2, responsible for causing acquired immunodeficiency syndrome (AIDS). The family first described by Ross in 1911 has human viruses HIV1, HIV2, subfamily Lentiviridie, genus contains HIV1, HIV2. Both are envelope viruses containing two positive sense RNAs approximately 10 kilobase per. They are known to infect non-dividing cells, macrophages, cause slow diseases, immunodeficiency, neurological diseases, arthritis, pneumonia. This is the electron microscopic picture of HIV virus. HIV is believed to be acquired from chimpanzees. Pantocloides, that is, by cross-species infection of simian counterpart of HIV in rural Africa. Simian immunodeficiency virus (SIV). It has been postulated that through such a zoonotic transmission to humans was going on repeatedly over many years in the past. Only by the late 20th century, the virus underwent changes which enabled it to adapt to human environment and reach to the epidemic level. So in 1981, 5 cases of PCP, pneumocystis carrying pneumonia, identified in Los Angeles by CDC. In 1983, LAV, lymphadenopathy associated virus, isolated from patients suffering with lymphadenopathy. STLV3, which later named as HIV type 1, identified in 1984 by Ayala and Kellis, and in 1986 HIV2 TAN is isolated from West Africa. So it also completes Cox postulate as it can be detected virtually in every patient with AIDS. Level of virus present on onset of the disease. Isolation can be from virtually every patient suffering with AIDS. Transmission pathogenesis, lab workers and healthcare workers who have acquired infection may develop AIDS. Animal studies shows that HIV, SIV cause AIDS in monkeys. So it has three groups: Group M, Group O, Group N, and majority having many strains and responsible for global epidemic of HIV. Outlier O, limited to West African nations. HIV-2 non-pandemic has largely restricted to West Africa, has less efficient transmission, so supposed to be less non-pandemic, less pathogenic, as patient suffering with HIV-2 type infection may remain symptom-free for longer period than HIV-1. Morphology: it is an enveloped double-stranded positive sense RNA virus measuring about 80 to 110 nanometer, approximately 120 nanometer in size. Have envelope. HIV is an envelope virus. The envelope is made up of GP. The envelope is made up of lipid part. It is the host cell membrane derived protein part. It has two components: glycoprotein 120, GP120. They are projected as knob-like spikes on the surface. You can see in this diagram also. And GP41, which is a transmembrane pedicle. They form anchoring nucleocapsid. You can see there is a nucleocapsid which is icosahedrogen symmetry made up of core protein inside. Inside there is a dense cylindrical inner core which encloses RNA. Two identical copies of RNAs are there, which are having single positive sense linear RNA. Viral enzymes such as reverse transcriptase, integrase, and protease, which are closely associated with HIV virus, are also present. We can see in the diagram. So the genes HIV contains three structural genes: GAG, POL, and NV. GAG codes for core or shell of the virus. It expressed as precursor protein P55, which is cleaved into three proteins P17, P24, P15. P17 constitute matrix or shell. P24, P15 constitute core antigen. Whole gene codes for viral enzymes such as reverse transcriptase, protease, integrase. It expressed as a precursor protein, which is cleaved into protein P31, integrase P51, reverse transcriptase, and P66. GAG envelope gene codes for the envelope glycoprotein GP160, which is cleaved into two components. GP120, it is the main receptor of HIV that binds to CD4 molecule on the cell surface, which initiates the infection. CD4 molecule on the host cell initiate the infection. GP41 is the fusion protein. Non-structural genes such as NAF, negative factor P27, it downregulates CD4 expression on the host cell surface, increases viral infectivity. RAP, regulator of virus gene, enhances expression of structural proteins. With viral infectivity factor influences the infectivity of viral particles. VPU, it promotes CD4 degradation and release of progenivirus from host cell, and they are type specific, expressed only by HIV1. VPR increases transport of viral genome into the nucleus and also arrests the host growth. VPX is found in HIV2, not in HIV1. LTR, long-term long-terminal repeat sequences which are present on both ends provide promoter, enhancer, and integration signals. So this is about the structure, genes, functional genes of the HIV virus. So pathogenesis, mode of transmission, sexual mode. It is our most common mode of transmission, accounts for 75% of the cases, while heterosexual route, male to female, sexual contact is the commonest mode. However, the risk of transmission through sexual route is minimal, 0.1 to 1%, but it is the most commonest route of transmission. Second is blood transfusion, through least common mode of transmission by person, but the risk of transmission is maximum, about 90 to 95%. Precutaneous mucosal transmission modes such as needle-stick injury, injection, drug abuse, and shearing, razors or tattoos or splashes of infected blood on eyes, etc., are among the less effective modes of transmission. Perinatal mode of transmission, in the absence of any intervention, and the risk of transmission from mother to the fetus is about 20 to 40%. Transmission may occur at the time of pregnancy, during breastfeeding, but the risk is maximum during delivery. Risk is maximum if mother is recently infected or has already developed AIDS. There is no evidence of HIV transmission by casual contact or kissing or insect bite. Viral load is maximum in blood, genital secretions, and CSF, variable in breast milk, saliva, zero to minimal in other body fluids. Saliva may contain inhibitory substances like fibronectin and glycoproteins, which may prevent transmission of virus. So, sexual transmission in developing countries, heterosexual spread constitute most important means of transmission. Male homosexual are constitute largest risk group in North America, Western Europe. Blood products. Blood or blood product, IV drug abuser represents second largest group. Hemophiliacs were one of the first risk groups. Vertical transmission in European countries, we have seen it is about 20 to 40% of transmission. So, how HIV infects the body? Receptor attachment. Following receptor interaction is essential of HIV entry into the host cell. Main receptor, HIV enters into the target cell by binding of the GP120 to CD4 receptor on the host cell surface. It makes contact with the cells located within the genital mucosa. Virus is carried to regional lymph node within 1 to 2 days. Exponential viral replication occurs at the site. Widespread systemic dissemination to brain, spleen, distal lymph node, etc. within next 2 weeks. So at 0 HIV exposure at mucosal cell surface through sexual contact. 0 to 2 days, virus is collected by dendritic cells carried to lymph node. Within the next 2 weeks, virus replicates in CD4 cell released into blood. After 2 weeks, spreads to other organs. The replication starts with binding of GP120 to the CD4 cell receptor on the host cell. That is, the CD4 molecules are mainly expressed on helper T cells and as along the surface of the virus. Various other cells like monocytes, macrophages, Langerhans cells, astrocytes, and glial cells. Second receptor, in addition to CD4 cell, it is necessary for fusion of HIV to gain entry into the host cell. Usually, the chemokine receptors act as co-receptors for HIV and act as binding to GP120. Example, CCX4 molecule present on T lymphocyte, CCR5 molecule present on the cells of macrophages lineage. So, this is how first step of binding occurs. The replication, second step, there is penetration and coating. So, replication of HIV occurs through the following steps. First, fusion, following attachment of the receptor, as we can see in the diagram. This fusion is following attachment of the receptor and co-receptor of GP120. Fusion of HIV to the host cell takes place mediated by the fusion protein GP41. We have seen in the picture also. Penetration and uncoating. After fusion, HIV nucleocapsid enters into the host cell cytoplasm, which follows by uncoating and release of 2 copies of single-stranded RNA and viral enzymes, as we can see here. Okay. Then comes the role of the reverse transcriptase. You can see in the diagram. Viral reverse transcriptase mediates transcription of its single-stranded RNAs into single-stranded DNAs, so that DNA RNA hybrid is formed. This RNA is degraded by viral endonuclease and single-stranded DNA replicates to form double-stranded DNA. This then transcription of DNA occurs to form some of the components of viral proteins. There is pre-integration complex, where nucleoprotein complex form comprises the linear double-stranded gag matrix protein, assessor BPR protein, and viral integrase. This is called as pre-integration complex, which is transported into the host cell nucleus. Then integration, the viral double-stranded DNA gets integrated into the host cell chromosome mediated by viral integrase. The integrated virus is called as provirus. Latency. In integrated state, HIV establish a latent infection for variable period. However, HIV is different from other latent viruses as it is able to replicate even in latent state, and it is infectious to other neighboring cells. So this is life cycle of HIV. Disease progression, stages of HIV, viral transmission, acute retroviral syndrome, which is an acute syndrome occurs when the virus is disseminated. It is characterized by fever, rash, lymphadenopathy, and sore throat like other viral infections. Seroconversion. On recovery of the patient will have antibodies to HIV that can be detected by tests like ELISA. Asymptomatic chronic infection. The patient remains without symptoms for many years until he or she develops symptomatic HIV or AIDS about 8 years down from the time of infection. Symptomatic HIV/AIDS average 1.3 years. This period is also the time period between development of AIDS to death is highly variable. Clinical progression. Primary infection is flu-like illness with high levels of virus replication. Until infection is brought under immune control, patient is highly infectious at this stage. Viral load reaches to the peak and then drops rapidly as immune response kicks in. Asymptomatic phase where no disease signs, although there is slow decline in CD4 count and active viral replication is ongoing. This stage can persist for 10 plus years. Highly infectious stage, patient remain highly infectious during the stage. Asymptomatic phase, approximately 10 raised to 10 virus particles are made and eliminated daily. Approximately 10 raised to 9 CD4 cells are made and eliminated daily. Virus particles and virus replication and elimination are very nearly in equilibrium steady state. AIDS is defined after this, and it is the immune when the immune system is ceases to function and disease progresses and results into death. So patterns of HIV are typical progressor following general disease progression pattern. Initial infection lasting for 4 to 8 weeks. Acute HIV syndrome lasting for 1 to 3 weeks. Sorry, 1 week to 3 months. HIV specific immune response 1 to 2 weeks. Clinical latency. Then AIDS defining illness 2 years on an average, and that there are three type of progressors: rapid progressors, slow progressor, long-term non-progressors. Rapid progressor follow rapid patterns, slow progressor comparatively slow progress, long-term non-progressors. Some are more immune, so resist, and the disease progresses very slowly. AIDS defining illnesses: cancer, Kaposis sarcoma, various B-cell lymphomas, cervical cancers. Other HIV-associated dementia, wasting syndromes, Kaposis sarcoma, opportunistic infection, sets in secondary to profound immune suppression, depending upon CD4 T cell count. Various infections occurs, development of neoplasia, development of direct HIV include manifestations such as HIV encephalopathies. When this particular opportunistic infection sets in, the protozoal causes are agents are toxoplasmosis, cryptosporidiosis, microsporidium, isospora, etc. Fungal causes PCP, candidiasis, cryptococcosis, histoplasmosis, coccidioidomycosis. Bacterial, Mycobacterium tuberculosis complex, ABM complex, atypical, Salmonella septicemia, other pyogenic and multiple recurrent infections by bacteria. Viruses such as CMV, HSV, VZV, JCV. WHO clinical staging of HIV infection: stage 1, asymptomatic, persistent, generalized lymphadenopathy. Stage 2, patients suffer with moderate unexplained weight loss less than 10% of total body weight, recurrent bacterial infection of upper respiratory tract, current plus 1 or more in last 6 months, infection with herpes zoster, angular cheilitis, recurrent oral ulceration, papillary pruritic eruption, fungal infection of nail. Stage 3, unexplained severe weight loss more than 10% of the body weight, unexplained chronic diarrhea for more than 1 month, unexplained persistent fever for more than 1 month, oral candidiasis, oral heavy leukoplakia, pulmonary tuberculosis. Stage 3, severe bacterial infections such as pneumonia, meningitis, etc., acute necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis or necrotizing ulcerative periodontitis, unexplained anemia, neutropenia, thrombocytopenia. Stage 4, HIV bursting syndrome, PCP, recurrent bacterial pneumonia, chronic herpes simplex infection or more than 1 month, or visceral for any duration, esophageal candidiasis, extrapulmonary tuberculosis, Kaposis sarcoma, cytomegalovirus diseases. CNS toxoplasmosis, HIV encephalopathy, extrapulmonary cryptococcosis, disseminated non-tuberculous mycobacterial infection, progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy, cryptosporidiosis, disseminated mycosis, cerebral or non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, invasive cerebral carcinoma, recurrent non-salmonella typhoid, HIV cardiomyopathy. So these are the key points to remember. Most commonest mode of transmission of HIV in India is sexual. Understanding the natural history of HIV is important in predicting progress of the disease in determining when to begin ART. Clinical staging allows clinician to re- rela- reliably predict in patient the risk for the an opportunistic infection, the need of disease prevention, and ART. Laboratory diagnosis. Specific test for HIV infection, screening test, antibody detection. ELISA takes 2 to 3 hours. Rapid simple test is less than 30 minutes, such as latex agglutination test. Supplemental test, antibody detection, such as Western blot, immunofluorescence assay, radioimmunoprecipitation assays, line probe assays. Confirmatory tests, such as P24, antigen detection, viral culture by co-cultivation techniques, HIV RNA, the best confirmatory test, reverse transcriptase PCR, RT-PCR, branch DNA assay, NASBA, nucleic acid-based sequence amplification, real-time PCR, RT-PCR for estimating viral load, HIV DNA detection, useful for diagnosis of pediatric HIV. Non-specific immunological methods such as low CD4 T cell count, hypergamma-globulin, neo neoprene, beta macroglobulin, altered CD4 CD8 cell ratio. So, the laboratory diagnosis of AIDS and HIV is not like other infectious diseases. A number of moral, ethical, legal, and psychological issues are associated with the positive HIV status. Disease is lifelong, outcome is invariably fatal, no cure or vaccine is not available so far, and so majority transmission through sexual contact. Hence, individuals known to be HIV infected are stigmatized and develop fear of being discriminated and socially outcasted. Therefore, the following care should be taken: three C's while performing the test for HIV: consent, confidentiality, and counseling. So, before you ask for HIV test, you should keep all these points in mind. Are you asking the test because you feel it is mandatory? Are you asking it for the test out of fear? Have you acquired basic knowledge of HIV/AIDS? Do you value human rights? Are you aware that your patient has rights to? You are prepared to counseling before asking the test? Are you prepared to counsel the patient after the test? Are you prepared to take informed written consent of the patient before sending the sample? Are you aware that HIV test is not substitute for precautions? So these three C's comes here. Consent in written format should be taken before the test is done. Patient should be explained about the nature of the test being performed. Confidentiality of the positive test result is must. Patient name or the word HIV positive should not be written on the report. Counseling should be provided to motivate the individual to tell the spouse, family, and induce behavioral changes. So strategies of HIV testing in India. Strategy 1. Purpose: it is done for transfusion and transplantation. Safety: that is for screening of the blood donors in blood bank only. One test should be done. If found reactive, then the unit of the blood is destroyed. Done using ELISA, rapid or simple test. Non-reactive can be considered negative. Strategy 2. Purpose: it is done for sentinel surveillance of HIV infection to estimate the prevalence of infection. The method followed here are ELISA, rapid and simple test, which are second, and if it is found reactive in the first, then it should be again subjected to the second ELISA rapid or screening test using different antigen or test principle. If reactive, reported reactive. Strategy 3, purpose, it is followed for diagnosis of HIV/AIDS. Positive result of the first should be confirmed by the second, and if the second test is negative, then third test is done for confirmation. This is done for the confirmation of asymptomatic HIV patient, antenatal screening, and screening of the patient awaiting strategies. So three test format, all positive result in the first test should be confirmed by second, second by third, and third if positive. The positive report is sent only if three test results are found positive. For indeterminate result of strategy 2 and 3, that is first report positive but second or third report negative, the test should be repeated, done after 2 to 4 weeks, and the sample should be sent for reference center confirmation by Western blot or RT-PCR. So, laboratory diagnosis, non-specific immunological test, non-specific test for HIV identification, blood count, leukopenia, lymphocyte count less than 400 cubic ml, thrombocytopenia, T cell subset assays such as CD4 count below 200 cubic ml, normal CD4 or CD8 ratio is 2:1, reverse in is 2.5:1, diminished cell mediated immunity, laboratory diagnosis of opportunistic infection, malignancies. These are all non-specific testing for HIV. Spectrum of HIV, HIV diagnosis, antibody antigen detection. Antibody detection, anti-HIV antibodies. In the mainstay of diagnosis of HIV, the test to detect specific HIV antibodies can be classified into screening test, high sensitivity, high specificity test recommended by NACO are the ELISAs, rapid kits with sensitivity of more than 99.5% and specificity of more than 98.98%. Should be confirmed in results. Screening test should never be used as a final interpretation of HIV test, as false positive result may occur and there chances of high false positivity. ELISA is the most commonly performed screening test at blood banks, tertiary care sites, and it is easy to perform, adaptable to large number of samples. It is sensitive, specific, and cost effective. There are types of ELISAs. First generation ELISA uses code preparation of HIV antigens, yields more false positive result, hence not in use now. Second generation ELISA use recombinant or synthetic antigens of HIV. It has improved sensitivity. Third generation ELISA uses recombinant or synthetic peptides as an antigen sandwich configuration. Advantages: very sensitive, able to detect IgM antibody in addition to IgG antibody. Fourth generation ELISA detects both HIV antibodies, IgM, IgG, and antigen P24 using combination of recombinant synthetic peptide as well as monoclonal antibodies, respectively. It reduces the window period considerably. Fifth generation ELISA, it differentiates between HIV-1, HIV-2 antibodies as well as detects HIV-1 P24 antigen. Principle of ELISA: various ELISAs are formatted in use depending upon different principles such as indirect, competitive, and sandwich. Rapid or simple tests, these have been developed for ease of performance, quick results, requires less than 30 minutes. They can be performed anywhere as there is no requirement of special instruments commonly used for field purpose. Dot blot assays, immunochromatographic assays, particle agglutination assays, dipstick Kunz test, supplemental tests such as Western blot. These are the most commonly used supplemental tests available and also recommended by NACO. Initiation of ART depends upon CD4, monitoring of ART, CD4 and viral. So this is about the ELISA, reader and washer. These are the instruments used in ELISA. Western blot, it works on the principle of immunoblot technique. It detects individual antibody in the serum separately against various antigenic fragments of HIV, such as antibody to GAG genes products P55, P40, P24, P18, antibody to pol gene, antibody to envelope gene. This is used as a supplemental test for confirmation. Only in difficult cases, detect antibody to specific HIV antigens on cellular strips. Disadvantage, multiple standards for performance, interpretation, expensive and limited commercial available. Viral load test, monitor progress of disease, 5,000 to 10,000 copies per ml. High viral load, 200 to 300 copies per ml. Low viral load to decide when to start treatment. Asymptomatic HIV infected people with viral loads higher than 30,000 copies per ml of blood by branch DNA test or more than 55,000 copies of using RT-PCR. RNA-PCR test should be started on ART. To measure how well drugs are working, goal of effective HIV treatment, keep viral load less than 50 copies per ml. According to the revised NACO strategies of 2017, ART has to started in all patients irrespective of CD4 count. So here we have to make the changes. P24 antigen is a core antigen. It becomes detectable in 12 to 16 days of infection, lasts for 3 to 4 weeks thereafter. Again, it is elevated during the late advanced stage of AIDS. P24 is detected by the fourth generation ELISA, as described earlier. Here, it can be, it is less sensitive, approximately 30%, because once the antibody is formed, it binds to the P24 protein and the antigen antibody complex get eliminated from the blood. Recently, antigen dissociation assay has been developed that involves pre-treatment of serum to an agent that liberates P24 antigen from immune complexes. This has shown better sensitivity. Uses of P24 antigen detection test for confirmation of diagnosis of HIV/AIDS, diagnosis of HIV during window period, diagnosis of late stage of HIV/AIDS, immune collapse or CNS disease, diagnosis of HIV in infants. It is previously thought to be related, but now RT-PCR is more accurate test for the diagnosis of infants HIV. Monitoring of progress of HIV infection to resolve equivocal Western blot results. RNA-PCR, viral RNA detection, is the gold standard method for confirmation of HIV diagnosis. Various formats are available targeting pol and envelope gene, RT-PCR, NASPA, branch DNA PCR, real-time PCR. These are more sensitive and specific methods to detect even few copies of viral RNA and the best method for confirmation of HIV. This can be best tool for diagnosis of HIV during window period because it can detect HIV as early than other available methods within the next 10 to 14 days post-exposure. Viral load monitoring by RT-PCR can quantify viral load is the most appropriate tool for the monitoring of the response of antiviral therapy. DNA PCR detecting proviral DNA is extremely useful for diagnosis of pediatric HIV and To differentiate latent HIV infection from active viral transcription, it also uses it can also be used during window period viral load estimation, real-time PCR, and detection of genotypes. Isolation of viruses Isolation of virus from blood or tissue. Isolation is the time consuming, expensive, takes longer time, more than 6 weeks, more, and not sensitive. It is due to lower number of available cells cultured and few of infected cells in the samples are present. Two methods are being used for virus isolation. In the direct method, peripheral blood mononuclear cells from the patient are cultured in vitro presence of mitogen, phytohemagglutinin. Another method is co-cultivation method where it is peripheral blood mononuclear cells (PCMCs), PBMCs from the heterologous HIV infected uninfected donors are stimulated with this phytohemagglutinin, and after 48 to 72 hours, the stimulated cells are cultured along with the PBMCs from the patient. Viral growth in the culture, supernatant can be detected by demonstrating presence of P24 antigen, viral transcriptase enzyme, or syncytia formation in infected cells, or by immunofluorescence assay to detect the viral antigens in the infected cells. HIV cultivation is predominantly a research tool, and it is available only in few reference laboratories such as NARI, NIV, which requires high degrees of expertise and at least level 2 containment facilities. Treatment. Zidovudine was the first antiretroviral agent shown to have beneficial effect against HIV infection. However, after prolonged use of AZT, resistance strains rapidly appear, which limits the effect of AZT. Combination therapy has shown now to be effective, especially for the trials of involving multiple agents, including protease inhibitors, highly active antiretroviral therapy. For the rationale for this approach is that by combining drugs that are synergistic, non-cross resistant, and non-overlapping in toxicity may be possible to reduce toxicity, improve efficacy, and prevent resistance from arising. Nucleoside analog, reverse transcriptase inhibitors, AZT, lamivudine, non-nucleoside analog, reverse transcriptase inhibitors, navirapine, protease inhibitor, immunavir, ritonavir. Highly active antiretroviral therapy, HART regimes normally comprises two nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitor and a protease inhibitor, AZT, lamivudine, and indinavir. Since the use of HART, mortality of HIV has declined dramatically in the developed world. NACO recommended HART regime. First-line regime, NACO recommended to include 3 drugs, 2 NRTIs, and 1 NTRI, NTRTI, and 1 NNRTI. The first-line regime is tenofovir 300 mg plus lamivudine 300 mg plus efavirenz 600 mg is the NACO recommended regime. It should be started for all new patients as a single dose daily regime. Older regimes, if the patients are already on different ART regimes and responding well, then the same regimes can be continued. Zidovudine, lamivudine, and navirapine. Second line regime, if the patient is not responding for primary regime or develops toxicity, then switch over to protease inhibitor. Best regime example includes tenofovir, lamivudine, lopinavir, or ritonavir. Opportunistic infections should be adequately treated with appropriate antimicrobial agents before starting ART. Cotrimoxazole prophylaxis for prevention of pneumocystis carrying pneumonia. Cotrimoxazole Cotrimoxazole may be initiated following scenarios such as when the patient is HIV infected, adult, CD4 count less than 200 cubic ml. WHO clinical stage 3 or 4 irrespective of CD4 count. Prevention. The risk of contracting HIV increases with the number of sexual partners. A chance of a change in the lifestyle would be obviously reduce the risk. The spread of HIV through blood transfusion, blood products had virtually been eliminated since the introduction of blood donor screening in many countries. AZT had been shown to be effective in preventing transmission, HIV, from mother to the fetus, the incidence of HIV infection in baby was reduced by 2%. The management of healthcare workers exposed to HIV through inoculation accident is controversial. Antiretroviral prophylaxis had been shown to be of some benefit, but it uncertain what is the optimal regime. Vaccines are being developed at present, but progress is hampered by high variability of HIV. Clinical trials for several vaccines are in progress. So expected questions, long questions, 15 marks, can be write in detail about pathogenesis, laboratory diagnosis of HIV, write in detail about opportunistic infections caused by causing caused by uh, bacterial agents, protozoal agents, viral agents in education, and that laboratory diagnosis of HIV, prevention, management of healthcare workers exposed. Short questions, 5 marks. Draw a well-labeled diagram of HIV, epidemiology of HIV/AIDS, opportunistic infection caused in HIV/AIDS, macro strategies, hard. Multiple choice questions like gene coding for code of HIV is GAG envelope code tag. Answer is A. During window period, patient with its best diagnostic test is ELISA Western blot rapid test RT-PCR. Answer is D. Best indicator of HIV prognosis CD4 T cell count, CD8 T cell count, HIV RNA, ELISA. Answer is C. High risk transmission of HIV, sexual blood products needed syringe, mother to fetus. Answer is B. Most common malignancies in AIDS is Kaposi sarcoma, B-cell lymphoma, leukemia, Hodgkin's lymphoma. Answer is C. According to revised NACO guidelines 2017, ART has to be started in all patients if CD4 T cell count is less than 350 per microliter, 200 per microliter, 500 per microliter, irrespective of CD4. Answer is B. Which is the following is CCR5 receptor inhibitor? Imitricabitine, ritonavir, Memavir, Pernavir. Answer is C. So, friends, I think you all have understood all this what we have learned today. So, if you have any doubts, any queries, you can contact anytime. Thank you.